You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, represent Mocha's Cafe de Paris, my co-ed channel for men and women. If ladies, you would prefer a more safe haven space specifically for the ladies, you're more than welcome to subscribe to my channel, Mocha's Ladies Lounge. So I appreciate everybody for stopping by and viewing. If you haven't already joined the family, you could join both channels or one channel. So either way, I definitely appreciate the support. So again, I want to thank each and every one of y'all. Go ahead and hit that like button for me before you forget. When we get into the content, I would appreciate that. Thank you very much. So, I thought it was imperative that I did this content today, y'all, because it seems that your boy Safaree just cannot catch a break. He cannot catch a break from his toxic preference, Miss Beautiful, Stunning, yet schizophrenic 𝐜𝐻𝐚'𝐬. Well, as y'all can see, if you haven't heard about it, there's a video going viral of 𝐜𝐻𝐚'𝐬 taking things to a whole nother level. Now, we all heard of straddling the fence, right? But to actually climb a wall to get to your baby daddy, who obviously you're holding a lot of hostility and animosity towards, but this takes things to a whole nother level. So if y'all didn't know, right, Safaree is the ex-boyfriend of Nicki Minaj, who is now indeed married to a pedophile by the name of Kenneth Petty. And I tell you, you know what, sometimes, you know, the purpose of breaking up with someone is so that you can move on for the better. But I would say in Nicki Minaj and Safaree Samuel's case, it only turned out that they lowered their standards even further. So, with that being said, Nicki Minaj is happily married to her pedophile, Kenneth Pedophile Petty, and Erica and Safaree, of course, are divorced. Marriage didn't last no longer than 5-minute rights. So, Safaree kept chasing after Erica, okay? It seems like once his divorce from Nicki Minaj fell through, he just went buck wild, you know, because a lot of people labeled him as a simp because they kind of felt like, you know, he was like the Fonz Bensworth of, you know, Nicki's entourage. They looked at him as more of one of, you know, Nicki Minaj's homeboys or part of her entourage more than they perceived him as Nicki's man, because she didn't treat him as such, especially when her career started flourishing. And then that is when she kind of really started pushing Safaree further and further to the back. And, you know, a lot of women want to, you know, give Safaree a lot of flack. But if you knew the history of him and Nicki Minaj's relationship at that time, Safaree really was a ride or die dude for his woman. I mean, everywhere him and Nicki Minaj went, he was like her #1 fan, to the point to where he would not even let her get on the stage if one hair was out of alignment. You know, and for guys who don't respect how a man can honor his woman's success, you know, they consider that simping. But in actuality, Safaree was a really, really supportive boyfriend. And a lot of people do not know this or don't remember, but Nicki Minaj actually had a meltdown when Safaree took the stand to unsimp himself from Nicki Minaj by leaving her. And see, that's what a lot of people don't know. Safaree left Nicki Minaj. She did not toss away Safaree for Meek Mill. Safaree left Nicki Minaj. He didn't care about the money. He didn't care about the fame. The fact that he was disrespected and she started treating him more like a homeboy and a groupie than her man, he made the decision to walk away from that. You know what I'm saying? He could have stayed and tolerated it just so he can be in her pockets, just so he could be known with Nicki Minaj. But you have to give him respect where it's due. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of guys, like Nicki Minaj's husband, we know he's not going nowhere. He's too weak of a man to go on his own, have to go back out there in the streets and hustle and work a 9 to 5 and rebuild. So he don't mind being Nicki's, you know, puppet master. You know what I'm saying? Or poodle. He don't mind being, you know, Poodle Pookie or Pookie Poodle, okay? He don't mind being the Pookie puppet, okay, for Nicki Minaj. But you got some men like this. No matter how much money a woman makes, even though I may not be on her level, I am not going to settle for being just one of your, you know what I'm saying, boy toys. And you can mistreat me and do me all kind of way because you feel like all of these ninjas is checking for you. Now, you know what I'm saying, you could treat me like I'm doo-doo to the bottom of your shoe. So Safaree took a stance and he left Nicki Minaj. Not only that, he also got money, plenty of money out of that relationship because he wrote a lot of her lyrics. And he had a lot to do with her career and her music because they was together for 10 years. You know what I mean? And for Nicki Minaj to become that successful, she did not do it by herself. He was in the background. A lot of people don't know this because he don't brag on it a lot. He don't talk about it a whole lot. Every once in a while, he brings it to people's attention because everybody always looked at him as kind of like the broke side dude, and this was far from the truth. However, things didn't work out with Nicki and didn't work out with Safaree, so they went their separate ways, right? And the rest is history. Safaree really started wilding out, and I'm gonna be honest, I had liked Safaree more when he was Nicki's boyfriend because he kind of stayed in the background. He wasn't doing too much, trying to be seen a whole lot. But it seemed like once he got from out of the shadow of Nicki, he had to really up the ante and be this overly animated dude to prove he was Safaree Samuels, not just Nicki Minaj's ex-boyfriend, right? So, you know, he had to go out there and basically create a brand and a name for himself. And, you know, he started, you know, getting on love and hip-hop. And that's really when all the cornball energy started manifesting, you know, to where this cool, calm, collective Jamaican guy that always kind of set to the background, who always was kind of mysterious. Because to me, I've always been into guys before I got married that's always been mysterious. Not loud, not obnoxious, not always in women's faces, not always wanting to be seen, not always trying to put the Mac down on every female, you know what I mean? You know, some women, we are drawn to men that are very mysterious. Well, you got to kind of figure him out, you know what I mean? You got to kind of like get to know him, to crack that shell, to really see, you know, what's underneath his masculinity, right? Some of us women, we built like that. And Safaree was that dude, right? But again, once he got cut from the umbilical cord of being on as Nicki Minaj's man, you know, he just started wilding out, you know what I mean? And it's like things that, it's kind of like women do it all the time, you know, when a breakup or a marriage don't work out, you know, all of a sudden she's on her thought mission, she's wearing revealing clothes, she's always in the club scene, you know, and you've never seen this woman be this type of way, but it's kind of like you trying to rebirth or renew or restore yourself or rebuild yourself from a relationship in which people only identified you around that particular person, especially if that person had more fame and success than you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happened. So he got on these shows. He got on Love and Marriage and Hip Hop, doing all these different shows and everything. And sure enough, as he got into the reality show business, that is when he pretty much started, you know, meeting all kind of, you know, other celebrities within that reality show, like 𝐜𝐴 in that group, you know what I mean, you know, within that part of the industry, right? And that is when he ran into 𝐜𝐴. You know, they met each other on a reality show, and that's pretty much where things kind of took off. Now, a lot of people don't remember, but Safaree kept chasing after 𝐜𝐴. He kept chasing after her on that particular show. And it was just very obvious that Safaree was really thirsting. And I think all of this was also a part of him, you know, trying to show Nicki Minaj, trying to show anybody who did not think he had it in him to move forward. That's basically what I believe gave him the extra determination to really, like, you know, run after Erica, and he kept doing that. You know what I mean? He kept pursuing her and flirting with her, you know what I mean? And she was, in all honesty, a lot of people don't know that, but she was trying to, like, you know what I mean, dismiss him, you know? And he kept becoming more and more aggressive to the point he basically broke her in. She was giving him a hard time for a good while, you know, and he kept chasing, and kept chasing. And finally, when he landed her, you know, he got beside himself, you know. He became very egotistical, and so did Erica. You know, both of them was pumping each other up. And I guess respectfully so, when you're in a relationship and you're together, that's what, you know, couples do. You know, this is my man, this is my woman, we look good together. You know, they was matching each other fly, wearing fur coats at all the basketball games and stuff like that. And you know, there was even people coming for Safaree at the time, calling him a cornball, calling him a lame. And Erica Mena would come to his defense and say, hey, my dude's not a cornball, he's not lame, y'all just mad, you know, because he's not like the typical ninja. He's not, you know, acting all thuggish and acting all hard, and I'm tired of women coming for my man, you know. So I'm saying, so they both was very, like, you know, headstrong for each other, you know. Neither one would let nobody else, you know what I'm saying, disrespect the other. So, you know, they had that kind of, you know, genuine, at that time, see, like a genuine respect for one another, you know what I'm saying. And over time, once he conquered her, and they decided to make the decision to be together, they got married, you know, had kids, and it just went from there. And it seemed like the moment she got pregnant from Safaree, all things went left. You know what I mean? And it's usually the opposite, you know. Usually, in some instances, it's the female or who runs behind the guy, you know what I mean? And once, you know, she's pregnant, you know what I mean? She's you know what I mean, real mean towards him, and he's the one having to try to run her down for the sake of wanting to be close to his child or whatever that's being created. It was the opposite in this case. Erica, roles reversed, tables turned. She started chasing him when she got pregnant. It's the irony, right? He chased her when she wasn't pregnant and she didn't want him. Then when she started catching feelings for him and started wanting him and then got pregnant from him, now he starts acting up, you know what I mean? And Safaree practically showed his true colors. He acted an ass, you know what I mean, once this woman had his child. And I can also say that he saw sides of Erica that he did not see until she got pregnant. And you know, when women get pregnant, their hormones and all of that get out of control and whatnot. But he saw a whole lot that scared him, basically. So he started stunting on Erica, wilding out, you know, being in the streets, not really being attentive, not really being a father. And, you know, sometimes for a first-time dad, it's scary, it's new. You really don't know how to handle this new chapter in your life. So, you know, okay, I mean, I guess to a certain degree with the first child, I guess I could have gave a pass. But the fact that on the second child, these two are still having a toxic relationship, dragging each other on social media. And anytime Safaree does anything, she has to come on social media. Down to when Safaree was donating food and clothes, some part of some type of donation drive. She got mad about that. You know, she went on social media. Oh, he wants to do a donation drive, but his kids haven't seen his sorry ass for the last X amount of months. So anytime Safaree tries to do anything great, Erica Mena has to come online and go for the juggler, because she basically realizes that this guy that was once upon a time head over heels with you, for you, that you thought you had like putty in your hands, you brought out the beast in him. Why? Because you are also a beastie broad. So this is what happens, right? When you have a lot of these guys who think that their preference is going to give them more peace, only to find out the preference is just as problematic as all the other women they have ever complained about. Now, granted, Erica is a very beautiful, stunning woman. She's light-skinned, has her own hair, you know, no lace fronts, doesn't wear a whole lot of makeup. She has body, yada, yada. But underneath all of that, Safaree found out this woman is batshit crazy. Okay? And it's to the point now he does not care about her looks. He does not care about her light-skinnedness. He does not care about her real hair growing from her scalp. What he does care about is getting a damn peace of mind, because he basically has children from a female rock roller. So for those of you who do not believe me, we're going to play that beautiful bean footage in which you will see Erica act out in action. So let's go ahead and get it popping. Let's see what the beautiful preference does, y'all. And keep in mind, there's no sound with this, so you're not going to hear any sound. Plus, it keeps the copyright down to a minimum. So I'm just going to play the footage so y'all can kind of see what's going on. Okay. Play.
Alright guys, so it looks like Erica Mena.
Okay, let me try it now. Okay, you see she's grabbing the ladder. Now this is Safaree's residence, okay? How the hell she got that ladder? I do not know. Now if this is not toxic. Got a ladder. Jumped in the man's backyard and she's on her way. Good thing he has camera footage, because nobody would believe this. And Safaree is the one who actually released the surveillance footage. She's knocking on the door. Wow, now we don't know what provoked it or what caused her to feel that it was necessary for her to jump the man's wall and enter and trespass his property. But whatever it was, this does not justify her behavior. Now look, she's hitting, going after him. As you can see, the two kids are there, seeing their moms while out. He's not hitting her back. Most likely he's probably just popping ish, saying smart stuff to her that's really making her mad, really provoking her. Because I'm sure he's saying something to her. Now, mind you, the kids are there watching her act out. Oh, my gosh, guys. Y'all got to be careful who y'all let breed y'all seed. He's trying to disengage. Look like he's on the phone. Kids are still there. Okay, she's pushing and shoving stuff. Like, this is not healthy for her kids to be seeing her act out in this manner. Now they're going to think that when they have anger issues, it's normal to throw things, to push and shove. Kids are following her all the way out the door. Of course, they're concerned about their mom. I knew this was going to happen. Oops, sorry about that, y'all. Yes, that stupid hard drive I have plugged in. I can't stand that thing. Okay, but as you can see, right, she's entering this man's property. And she's illegally trespassing and assaulting him, even though she didn't give him a black eye or any major injuries. The fact that she's putting her hands on him in the first place, we know good and well, had the shoe been on the other foot, Safaree would have been arrested. Okay, bottom line, it would not have mattered. As I stated before, 𝐜𝐴 and Safaree have a very turbulent relationship. He did not really know 𝐜𝐴 that well. Now, had he been following that show for a long time, he would have known 𝐜𝐴 is a very problematic preference type of woman. Every guy that's ever dated her, she's had some type of verbal altercation or physical altercation. Allegedly, her first child's father, she had stabbed him, even though he survived it, you know, but this just shows her history of men. Erica Mena is a very beautiful woman, but she's very toxic. She's very drama-filled, and she will put the pause on a man in a heartbeat. So if any man who wants to get involved with Erica, he has to understand, Erica is going to put her hands on you. She will fight you. She will push and shove. She is not good at keeping her composure. She's never been woman enough there to respectfully keep herself together, even if she's feeling disrespected. Because my thing is, regardless of what this man said to her on the phone, if he said, called you a bitch, or I can't stand you, or I never want to have nothing to do with you in life, or, you know, I wish you to your death, whatever he said to her, it wasn't justified for her to be entering this man's premises and her children, the children they have together, seeing her crash out in the manner in which she crashed out in. But this is nothing new under the sun. Erica is one of those type of women. She does not take accountability, and she knows how to manipulate and basically gaslight so people can feel sorry for her. This is not the first time we've seen Erica act out and crash out. She's done it on Love and Marriage. I think it's Atlanta. Is it Atlanta or is it New York? One of those seasons. But recently, because in case y'all didn't know, Erica Mena has a dating show currently now. I believe it just got done being filmed or wrapped up. Now, who the hell are these men who agreed to go on the show to date Erica, knowing she's already a mother of 3? And the fact that neither one of her baby daddies would stay with her, and the fact that she will put the pause on the man in a heartbeat. I don't know if these men came on the show for clout, or if they really that thirsty looking for love. Whatever the reason is, she tried the wrong guy. There's actually a guy that is suing her right now because he alleges Erica Mena physically assaulted him or was about to assault him on the show. Anyway, I'm going to let him tell you about it. So this is why you guys got to be careful when it comes to some of these women and how they move. So let's talk about it. I'm going to let him do the talking. This is one of the guys from the show here. So he's going to explain to you about the incident that occurred between him and Erica Mena.
I'm Aaron the plumber. I got exploited, looking for love once again. I came on Erica's 2 ways with Erica Mena. I had the show cracking. I was doing some real punching, you know, and they twisting up. They're going to try to twist up the narrative and try to make it seem like I'm transphobic. I'm emotional and a multitude of other things. That's not true. I left the show. They want me to come back on the show. I got all the receipts. I don't want to get back on the show because Erica Mena is, in fact, racist towards black men. She been disrespecting black men from day one on that show. People been leaving.
Now, let me say this. We do know that Erica is known to have racist tendencies. That's the reason why she was kicked off of Love and Hip Hop for calling Spice monkey. And that is not the first time she has degraded black women. She's done it multiple occasions. So for her to do it towards black men, I totally believe that this is something she would do. It's in her character. Like I said, she's done it towards black women. And basically, this man had decided to leave the show, and they wanted him to stay because, again, when it comes to these reality shows, they need the cast members to stay on the show because that is what helps makes the show. And if you have people quitting before the show could even really get up off the ground, it's already not a good look. So as you can see, this guy is explaining and letting everybody know, hey, I was on her show and I ended up leaving, and they're going to try to edit stuff and make things look one way and make things look a different way. And I'm letting y'all know this woman is cruel. She's not who y'all think she is. And anytime you go on any Zeus network, anything having to do with Zeus, just be prepared to be signed up for the ratchet culture, because that's exactly what it's going to be. It has absolutely no class, not even a little bit.
Leaving the show, not wanting nothing to do with her because she's so disrespectful. Her mouth. They're going to try to paint me out to be a transphobe. I'm telling y'all ahead of time, I love all people of all creeds. I am not transphobic. I am not homophobic. Anything. I'm filing charges on 𝐜𝐴 right now for assault. Right now.
Okay, interjecting. Make sure y'all please hit that like button. And this guy name is Turtle. If y'all probably don't remember him, he was on one of the shows Pop the Balloon. And his particular episode had got a lot of views. And I'm sure this is the reason why 𝐜𝐴 or the producers particularly chose him, because his clip went viral. So of course it would be a good look for 𝐜𝐴's show. So just to kind of put y'all on who he is and where he came from, in case y'all wasn't familiar with him. He's not a celebrity. He just was a guy on a balloon popping show that went viral and got a lot of views. So of course 𝐜𝐴 and her producers chose him for that reason.
I'm Aaron the plumber. I got exploited, looking for love once again. I came on Erica's 2 Ways with 𝐜𝐴. I had the show cracking. I was doing some real punching, you know, and they twisting up. They're going to try to twist up the narrative and try to make it seem like I'm transphobic. I'm emotional and a multitude of other things that's not true. I left the show. They want me to come back on the show. I got all the receipts. I don't want to get back on the show because 𝐜𝐴 is, in fact, racist towards black men. She been disrespecting black men from day one on that show. People been leaving the show, not wanting nothing to do with her because she's so disrespectful. Her mouth. They're going to try to paint me out to be a transphobe. I'm telling y'all ahead of time, I love all people of all creeds. I am not transphobic. I am not homophobic. Anything. I'm filing charges on 𝐜𝐴 right now for assault. Right now. I'm Aaron.
Okay. So I'm going to see if he also...
I'm Aaron the plumber. I got exploited, looking for love once again. I came on Erica's 2 Ways with 𝐜𝐴. I had the show cracking. I was doing some real punching, you know,
okay,
and they twisting up. They're going to try to twist up the narrative and try to make it seem like...
Okay, so he's basically saying the same thing. I thought it was going to be something different. So this just goes to show anybody who's been fans or followers of Love and Hip Hop, we've seen 𝐜𝐴 crash out multiple times. This is part of her character. She's a very beautiful woman, and you have to realize a woman of her looks, she's not comprehending that even though you are this beautiful, stunning woman, men are leaving you because you are problematic. You like to fight. You're very aggressive. You have better female, you got alpha female vibes, and you take your dominance to a whole nother level, because Erica is one to not only dominate a man mentally, that's one thing, but she would definitely try to dominate a man physically. And that's why, in fact, she was so aggressive, she was willing to climb the wall of this man's house just to get her point across. She's very relentless, highly relentless. As you can see, even when Safaree tried to walk away, she kept pushing him, had no regards for her children. Now, I will say this. You do have some men like Safaree that know how to be low-key abusive. And what I mean by that is they know how to say certain things to provoke you. Knowing certain things will make you lash out. And Safaree gives me those type of vibes of he knows how to discreetly push a woman's buttons, but he does it in a manner in which she can crash out, so he'll look like the innocent bystander. But I will say this. It doesn't matter what the hell Safaree said. It did not warrant for Erica to violate this man's house by climbing over a wall, pushing and shoving him in front of their children, and knocking items over. Does she not realize that children, they soak up everything that they see? And keep in mind, she has a daughter and a son. And in many cases, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. If her children are seeing a mother act in this manner, in the fact that it could very well already be in their DNA to be aggressive, because you got to realize Safaree is Jamaican, and Jamaican men by nature are aggressive. But their mother, being of Puerto Rican descent, she's also very aggressive. And I'm not saying that because you're Jamaican or Puerto Rican, you're automatically volatile. But what I'm saying is in some cultures, the men or the women are more dominant than others, depending on the values within that culture, right? And Safaree, definitely being of Jamaican descent, Jamaican men have very little tolerance, if not any, of women who try to dominate them. So Safaree's going to explain why he decided to leave that relationship, and the fact of her crashing out. He's kind of going into it, so we're going to hear his side of the story, and we're going to also hear Erica do her line and crying at the same time. So let's see what it's given.
You know, when you're with someone for 3 years and they have a child, and you probably saw the child 3 to 4 times because the child was put off to go live with somebody else.
Now, he's talking about her very first child. He's basically saying you meet a woman who has a child that's only been present, that you've only seen 3 or 4 times throughout the whole duration of being with her, and the fact that that child lives with someone else was already a red flag. Yes, sir, but you still chose to not only have 1 but 2 children from a woman who already did not really have custody of of her first child when you met her. But interestingly enough, you still chose to not only wife her, but give her 2 babies. Continue.
And, you know, you kind of look past it when you don't have kids or you're not thinking about that. I never even was like, yo, why doesn't your son live here? And then when you finally get to have a conversation with the son and find out why, it's crazy, you know.
Now I will pause here. Now, in many instances, a person who does not have children, who end up dating someone who has kids, sometimes in some instances they don't perceive this as red flags, because sometimes, in some cases, not all, you have to be a parent to understand the severity of how come this person does not have custody of their children. But if you've never had children before, you're pretty naive and gullible to the way a person has their life orchestrated as a parent. You really will overlook significant things. So I think by Safaree not having no real inclination about parenting, because he was not a parent at the time, I don't think he put 2 and 2 together. But continue.
You know, imagine speaking to a child who's of age and knows what's going on. He's 16 years old. And he says, if I ever had to live with my mother, I would kill myself. I wouldn't make that up, you know? And it sucks that I gotta really just run this down because of this smear campaign and somebody who gets such a high on just talking about me, you know, when you're with someone for.
So I want to pause there. So he's basically saying how her oldest son, who she doesn't really deal with, who she hasn't really parented for 16 years, is stating that if I would have ever have to live with my mother, I would unalive myself. So that speaks volumes. Men, pay attention to what kind of relationship a woman has with her children if you're going to play the step-up, step-daddy game, which I don't recommend. However, I don't knock a man who chooses to take on that role, right? If you do, you have to pay attention to stuff like that. Pay attention to why she does not have custody of her children. I'm going to see what other video. I don't want to play nothing long-winded. I want to try to play the short version. Let me see when Erica calls herself responding back.
No need to feel sorry for me. Now, if you want to feel the embarrassment that I might be feeling because I'm a human, and if you're human, I'm sure, you know, you can kind of understand where I'm going with that, then yeah, that's one thing. You know, I'm human. There's moments where we are embarrassed. If anything, be embarrassed with me, because shit. Look what I've
Be embarrassed with you. Ma'am, Erica, do you realize how ridiculous you sound? We've seen you crash the hell out in front of your children. And to add insult to injury, you looked more bad than Safaree. And I'm sure Safaree said some things and did some things to piss you off, but that does not excuse the way you responded. You are responsible for your own behavior. You are supposed to control your actions. So for all the women coming in the comment section acting like Safaree provoked her and made her that way, Erica has always been that way, okay? We've been followers of love and hip-hop for years. We've seen her fight, throw drinks, kick off stilettos. We've seen this woman crash out since we've known her. She's always physically getting into fights. She's always getting into chaos. So any woman who is defending Erica or supporting Erica, this already lets me know your mindset. But continue.
I've been dealing with, and there's so much that honestly the world doesn't even know. But anyway, back to the comment. I chose him. Do y'all forget I was chased for 3 years and I wasn't budging? Like, mofo had to go through my friends and my family just to get me to reply in a text, let alone give him any type of chance. No need to feel sorry for me.
So, basically, the whole conclusion of this is both of them got more than what the hell they bargained for. Both of them. It was all about being spiteful. You know, Safaree wanted to prove to Nicki and Nicki's fans that he moved on. He has a new life. He has a new beginning, a new chapter. He really did not know Erica well enough. It was just basically a challenge. You know, I think he wanted a challenge. He wanted something different. You know, he was still, you know, somewhat hung up over Nicki Minaj proving a point as far as trying to, you know, establish his own identity, so people don't only perceive him as that guy. So he moved on quickly with the next woman he felt he could conquer. And in all honesty, he did. He chased and chased and chased. I have to play devil's advocate. I'm not a fan of 𝐜𝐴. But you get some of these men out here, they will get on into a submission, not submission, a submission, in which they are so determined to try to conquer a woman in which they feel like is a challenge to them, in which, you know, appears to give them a run for their money. And in all honesty, 𝐜𝐴 kept, you know, blocking him, putting our wall up like, dude, man, I know you playing games. You ain't feeling me like that, bro. Like, come on, stop it. And he chased and chased and chased and chased and chased until he finally got her to bring her wall down. And that's 20% of why she's wilding out, because she's like, look, I was trying to stay away from you. And honestly, I don't like 𝐜𝐴, but I have to tell the truth. She was not checking for Safaree. Safaree was running this woman down. But I will say this. Sometimes a man will run a woman down because he's really feeling her. He's really interested in her. And once that woman knows now that she has conquered him and got her, you know, and sunk her claws in him. Now she starts wilding out and showing this whole nother side of herself. So even though, you know, with all due respect, he was running her down, this is the thing. You can run something down, and then when you get it, it's like, damn, this is what I signed up for. It's kind of like, I remember one time there was this job that I had really wanted, you know. And I had my heart set on doing this career, you know, going into this type of profession. And then when I got into shit, it's like, God damn, this is crazy. I mean, I knew I was going to go through some things, but this here is just way out of my, you know, this is out of my element. This job is making me be this evil Knievel person that I know I am not, you know. And once I got involved and really saw the real depth of what I signed up for, I realized, you know what, I got to jump ship, you know what I mean? And it took me, I didn't find that out till putting in damn near 3 years, you know what I mean? Where anybody else in their right mind would have figured out the first year, girl, this ain't for me, I'm not going to put any more time into this. But when you really want something bad enough, you're going to keep fighting and fighting and fighting for it, especially for something you kind of got your heart, you know, you got your mind really, you know, like, made up on. Like, this is something I really want to do. I want this to work. And sometimes you get to that 3rd year and you realize, you know what, this is it. I'm not happy. I'm miserable. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like myself. This job is, that's how I felt. So it could have been that kind of way for Safaree, for everybody being on why he stayed so long, why he didn't jump ship, why you listen, you got some men who think they could change women. Like, you got some women who think they could change men. You know, they get 10, 15 years and realize, damn, I can't change this person. When it's easy for the average person to be on something, you should have figured that out the first 2, 3 years. Yeah, some of us are late bloomers, you know what I mean? You keep thinking, some of us are not quitters. And when you're the kind of person, you're not a quitter. You're not one that's just easy to throw in the towel. You'll take a little bit more than most, right? But, you know, you find out and now you have peace with it because you realize all them years you put in, you know for a fact it wasn't going to work because you put in way more time than you should have. Versus a person who probably only put in a year or so and they make new changes and look back and reflect and say, you know what, I probably should have hung in there a little longer. You know what, probably should have gave it a second chance. But when you put your all into something and you finally make it up in your mind that this is not going to work for you, you can leave that situation peacefully because you know you gave it your all. You put all your time and your energy. And Safaree may be one of those type of dudes like, you know, I'll fight and fight. Listen, he done proved he's relationship. He's a long-term relationship person. He been with Nicki Minaj 10 years. That's not something, you don't have men that are known to be with the same woman for that long. You know what I mean? So he's proven that he's the kind of guy, he does love long-term relationships. He has a track record to prove that. You know, he been with the same woman 10 years. And the fact that he was willing to jump ship after 3, he saw a whole lot. Listen, just that little bit we saw. Imagine what the hell he really went through without the cameras rolling. You know what I mean? Imagine. And my thing is, women like to question stuff like this. Like, what did he do? What did he do to provoke this? He must have said something. Listen, I guarantee you, if that man would have been hitting that woman, y'all wouldn't have gave a damn what the hell she did to provoke him. Listen, when Diddy attacked Cassie, nobody ain't want to hear nothing about what Cassie did to cause that. And I definitely didn't want to hear it. Once I saw that man put his hands on that woman, there was nothing he could have said. Nothing he could have said. Then the fact that she tried to walk away, and then he dragged her some more, there's nothing he could have said. Okay, let's say she would have pulled out a gun on him in the room or did something. Thing was, she was trying to get away from him, and Diddy followed her to that elevator. So nobody wants to hear what a man has to say when he's caught hitting on a woman. And being an advocate of domestic violence, in which I deal with women who physically put their hands on men, and I deal with men who physically put their hands on women. That is what I do. I'm a family violence intervention professional, in which I deal with couples. I deal with people who are court mandated to take domestic violence classes. So therefore, when women do this, it should not be a question as to what did he say to make her hit him. No, she had no business hitting him, had no business pushing him. Women out there, if this was your son, you don't want to hear, well, what did my son do to make her mad? If it would have been your son, oh man, you loved her, you cared about, you ain't trying to hear that. You know what I mean? So that's just what it boils down to. Nobody should be putting their hands on nobody. 𝐜𝐻𝐚'𝐬 is a very problematic woman. And my thing is, why was Safaree the one who left? If Safaree is the problem, why 𝐜𝐻𝐚'𝐬 did not leave? Safaree left. And Safaree already has a record of anytime he's feeling disrespected or violated, he will leave. He did it with Nicki Minaj. And he did it with 𝐜𝐻𝐚'𝐬. And as he stated in another video, and I was trying to find it, in which he implied that I cannot be in a situation in which a person is provoking me to hit them or put my hands on them because I don't want to go to jail. He's basically saying I had to leave that situation because I'm going to end up in jail. Because the moment I'm trying to defend myself, I'm going to look like the villain. The moment I'll hit her back, I'm getting arrested. And if you YouTube his video, he explains all of that. But I don't want to take up a lot of time, you know, playing footage and all of that. But that's what he basically said was his reason for leaving, because he does not want to do prison time. And for that, I have to give him respect for leaving her versus putting his hands on her. I have a problem with people who put their hands on somebody versus being man enough or woman enough to just leave the situation. It's not worth getting a criminal record. It's not worth, you know, getting your name tarnished. Because once you get battery on your record, nobody cares about who started it. All they seen is batteries. I cannot explain to y'all how many men and women come to me that got a DV charge and they can't get an apartment because of it. They can't get a job because of it. Hey, I had a girlfriend who just got her CDL, and we fought for like a year or two for this specific school that we was training with to get our CDL. I ended up not finishing and getting mine, but that's another story for another day, right? She had got hers after all them blood and sweat and tears. Because of that charge she had with an ex, people still holding that against her. She cannot get an apartment. She cannot get, you know, a job in which she's around people because they're looking at that battery charge. You know what I mean? They don't care that her ex started it first or however she was defending herself. It's just not worth it. It does not seem like a big deal, but trust, when you get down on your record, it's very frustrating. People will judge you and size you up, not even know your story, not even care to get to know it. And it's just by policy that if you got a battery on your record, they cannot hire you. It does vary if it's a 5-year charge, a 10-year charge, but most of the time, I don't care how old it is, if it's still on your record and you can't get it expunged, people use it against you. You feel me? So, anyway, y'all, let me know what y'all think about this. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Do you think that Safaree did everything he could possibly do as a man to avoid making it worse? Do you feel like he's playing the victim and he's doing way more than what he's pretending he's done? Do you think 𝐜𝐻𝐚'𝐬 has some type of rights, some type of justification in her actions? Me personally, I don't think she has any. But for anybody who does, you are more than welcome to reiterate on that. Drop a comment. Long as it's respectful. I don't care about nobody who disagreeing. But if you come up in here with this, oh, you dick riding for Safaree and this is the problem with black women, we don't support one another. If you come in my comment section with that foolishness, I am going to hand you the eviction papers and you're going to have to come back with a new account, because I'm not dealing with that. Because the whole bottom line is DV is not just a black woman problem. It's an ignorant person's problem. People who not man enough or woman enough to conduct themselves in a manner in which they don't have to put their hands on someone else. But anyway, for another time, y'all. We'll talk about that. And in the meantime, hit that like button. And I appreciate y'all support. Thank you for viewing with me. Y'all have a blessed day. Take care.